How's it going, team? This is the Brown Man, and today I'm gonna have a different type of video. This is going to be a calm conversation video, but it's going to be a reply to a lot of people in Evil Dead right now who are survivors who are either uninstalling the game or doing a sledge type thing, where they're saying that this side is severely demon-sided. That this recent patch rather is severely demon-sided, and I'm hearing everybody, and I think there is, honestly, an interesting conversation to be had. So beforehand, balance bar was out of control, and everyone was running balance bar, and everyone was running 2 or 3 warriors with an Annie. And I think the way that this is that they haven't decided what they wanted to do with each class per se. So I'm gonna have a different take on this kind of issue. If you like this kind of stuff, like, share, subscribe, etc. But I think the issue was balance bar, but they hit balance bar a little bit too hard. I think, so let's go into these real quick. So these balance bar, it used to be like plus 30% balance bar, plus 20, it was really obnoxious when you went into certain things like this. But they lowered them because you get very little penalty for doing a heavy attack, which doubles balance bar, and then getting the plus 30, plus 50, plus 20%, 50% extra balance bar. So that would be like doing a heavy attack plus a light attack, 3 times the balance bar, pretty much of a single light attack. So it would get really absurd, really fast, and things would be stunned to death, especially if they had an Annie, and it just got ridiculous. But that needed to get changed, and they took away balance bar from warriors, which is a good thing, but they took away balance bar from Annie. In Annie's, it did 15 to basics and 15 to elites, but it used to do 25 to basics, 25 to elites. And a part of this is they need to let leaders and supports supplement something. So the classes shouldn't be so strong that they can solo on their own, and leaders need to complement that and allow things to be an actual threat. So bumping Annie up to 25 or 30% extra balance bar for basics and elites is not bad. I see that as a good thing. It's okay to have Annie bump it up to 30%, 25% on the balance bar end, and scale down the balance bar of melees. And the thing about that is that melees don't require ammo, and warriors typically can take a hit, so they're constantly blocking and harassing the unit and doing balance bar damage and doing, of course, health damage at the same time, and dismemberment. And when things get balance bar stunned, those are free hits, free setups. That was really obnoxious, and they needed to take a hit. But leaders should supplement the team. So, for example, hunters did a lot of damage. They brought down some of the range damage. Headshots got scaled down too much. I think the issue isn't headshots per se, but the issue is the buff. So warriors and hunters get a 1.5 buff to melee and range respectively. That should be a 1.25 buff. It shouldn't be this outrageous buff, and leaders should complement and add to that. So it was really absurd that hunters could pretty much decimate things on their own. Even if you dropped a boss unit, the team or the hunter actually themselves, especially in Amanda, can pop their ability, pop the units that got dropped, and then pop the boss with ammo for days. It got really ridiculous what one could do as hunter. And then plus you have the reload speed. So it's just in terms of that DPS needed to take a hit. But of course, we have things like Evil Dead 1 Ash. Although people don't play him, he adds 20% to everyone's range. So I do understand where they're coming from with lore and headshots, because some of the scaling, it would get really ridiculous. And of course, although people weren't really good with headshots with Evil Dead 1 Ash outside of a shotgun, if you manage to pull them off, your hunter would get maybe 1/6 of their health back per shot, and then 2 would be 1/3. If you do, for example, a 1500 headshot, that's 150 health. 2 shots would be 300 health, and 300 health on something that only has 950 health if you don't have industrial strength. that's about 1/3 of your health back. So on bosses, it'd be they're a free heal station, and your boss couldn't even really damage out the hunter. So the scaling on that is actually ridiculous. If you're doing, for example, 100 or 150 damage per hit, or close to, and the hunter is gaining health just as fast off of headshots with an Evil Dead 1 Ash on your team, you were going nowhere attacking that unit, and it gets really ridiculous really fast. So that is understandable, but that is one of the main issues, I believe, is actually the weapon bonus. So doing that 150 or the 1.5 bonus to guns needs to be scaled down. I think they aren't really considering that. And the damage increase, so they increased the damage on a lot of these guys, right? So they went into heavy damage up to 20%. Oh, that's heavy damage boss, 20%. But we have here, where are we at? I know it's right here, come on now. Yeah, so they increase the heavy damage over here. So for example, even if you go into something like Puppeteer, and Puppeteer is the main issue, I believe. Right, so we go into something like, damn it, where is it? Heavy damage boss, heavy damage basic. They went up from 15% up to 20%, right? And the issue is this new guy, right? So they have somebody in who mitigates damage by up to 30% for 30 seconds. So they need to respond to this guy, right? So we have Soda Pop, damage reduction 30%, 30 seconds. That's a really, really big defense buff. So that would literally delete the buff of demons. 30% damage mitigation for 30 seconds. That is huge. So they needed something to offset that. And I think the main issue with damage with certain things is actually the book phase. The book phase would be where the true issue of this game is. And that's the one design flaw, is that when you increase a lot of this extra stuff, you survive a lot, and you can do really good throughout the game and get stomped on the book simply because they can actually ignore the other players and do well. That is disgusting. It's disgusting that they can completely ignore other players and pretty much win at the book. One of it, of course, is relying on melee damage. So melee damage, you take a lot of damage, you require a lot of health back, which is why a lot of people run Cheryl. But gun damage is actually really fairly good, but guns do need that higher skill ceiling of headshots doing more damage. So they need to revert that back, but scale down hunters a little bit. And one of the issues, of course, is that extra reload speed. It's nice, but getting that extra, oof. It's just a way you heal, you just do certain things a little bit way too quickly. But changing too much at once was a Dead by Daylight issue, but it is now an Evil Dead issue. They need to do things a little bit slower. But of course, I do agree with some of the survivor nerfs. But the book is definitely an issue. It's a lose-lose situation. It's a situation where in 2 minutes the demon can win and overcome just anything. But the main issue with this patch is more so I blame content creators. And I blame content creators for a very simple reason. And one of that reason is going to be pings. So, one of the issues that I said is pings. So, this isn't truly a solo queue game. You are not truly solo in Evil Dead the game. Even if people are not on comms, there is a ping system that is global. And there is a sound system or in-game talk system that is also global. Unlike Friday the 13th, unlike Dead by Daylight, nobody needs to bring in a specific perk to communicate what they want. For example, they could do something like, and you ping it, and people can see it on the map. You could do something like,
follow me, we're moving out.
Like that. You can also do something like this. Using the L1 wheel, yes, you can change to different things.
Avoid this area at all costs.
You can actually tell people where the demon is, so the demon doesn't necessarily have to have a jump on one person. If you see a portal open up next to you, you can open up your map, mark that shit as X. X does not mean you're going there, and I see too many people putting on the fucking X where they're going. Don't do that. Use it appropriately. And that's a part of the issue, is that people are not talking about how to correctly communicate. You can be solo queue. I mostly play solo queue, and we have a good time because I correctly ping stuff. And even though some people are a little slow on understanding what the ping is, they understand after a couple moments,
If I'm
hey,
still alive, I'm gonna feel that one.
she's gonna feel that tomorrow. They understand, hey, this guy is taking damage, and he's pinging himself as dangerous. Maybe the demon is on his ass. And I blame, as I said, content creators. You guys, whether it be Sledge or anybody, if you guys are actually trying to inform people, you need to let people know how to appropriately ping.
Work with what you got.
You need to tell people how to do that. That will make solo queue a lot easier. Solo queue is not like Dead by Daylight solo queue, once again, where there is no communication at all. There is plenty of communication and plenty of room to communicate. I hope you guys be safe, stay hydrated, and of course, have a good one.